Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Thanks for watching Scrambled podcast.
Hi. Welcome back to my channel.
Welcome back to prison.
Welcome back to prison.
Welcome back to daycare.
Imagine if you're like a person that just like lives that life and always gets sent back into jail, and they're like, "Hi, welcome back."
Oh, it's been a while.
You've been good. It's been like 3 months.
We got new bunks.
This is your new jumpsuit.
food's
Actually, we'll
only
just
gotten
give you the
worse.
same old jumpsuit.
We actually saved your jumpsuit. We haven't even washed it yet.
Ew, nasty.
Hey, water bills get high.
Is that what happens?
I don't know. Maybe.
Do you
Maybe.
have you ever been close to getting arrested, or have you ever been arrested?
No.
No?
I've been in the back of a police car for like truancy, getting driven back to school, but never.
How did that go? Wait, truancy, is that like skipping, like not being at school?
Like I got caught skipping school, and like a policeman just like escorted me and my friend back to school in the back of his car, and I was just like, "Oh, these seats are uncomfortable." He was like, "Yeah, try not to get arrested." And I was like, "Okay."
Jeez.
And whenever I do something illegal, I already know I'm gonna get away with it. So,
Same.
you know what I mean? I don't take chances where I'm like, "Ooh," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know the exits.
To your left and to your right.
I'm a shiny bitch today.
Do you want some blotting powder?
No, I'm too sweaty for that.
What does that mean? What
I'm
happens?
just sweaty.
What happens if you're too sweaty for blotting powder?
You just
How do you
look
get
like
off?
you just look like a pancake.
How do you take off your sweat? You
With my
shower
hand.
with your hair.
Yeah.
You just blot with your hair.
Yeah.
My hair is greasy. We balance each other out today because my hair is lean.
Wait, so let's acknowledge the elefante in the room. The room
Eureka!
itself is the elephant.
Oh, sorry.
Shut up. We're filming in Nancy's place.
Yeah, we're in a new location. Hopefully, I like the light actually, because you're right. The white balance.
There's
is
like
not,
color to us.
Yeah, it's not set to.
We're people of color.
We are weird. Yeah, the lights do like brighten us up, but we still.
I just realized we have a backdrop.
look ethnic. That's an extra mattress that we keep for our guests behind.
Yes.
But it looks like my wall is blue. It's not blue. It's
Looks
like
nice though.
It's like a beige. But hopefully,
Looks good.
hopefully it plays like that's my wall color. But it's a mattress.
I like it. All right, let's get down to some biznaz. So I want to go first because I'm taking president. Hello, my name is Donald Trump.
Yeah, I came very underprepared. I was like, oh my god, I have to set everything up, and I didn't think about.
I want to get my chunk out of the way because it's going to be an interesting conversation. It's nothing serious. I think all of my shit is stupid. Yeah. So my chancla is Star Wars. Han Solo. It sucked. I didn't like it.
Oh, you watched it?
I saw it. Yeah.
How
In
did
theaters.
that go? Okay, this is already a
Yeah,
is already a
go for
tangent.
it.
You know what movie I really want to see?
Ocean's 8.
Hereditary.
I'm seeing that tomorrow.
Are you?
Yeah.
You bitch!
Yeah.
I really want to go see it. I'm gonna see
I
if
love
I
Toni
can.
Collette.
Who is
She
that?
gives me life. The main character in it. The mom of the child.
She's the lady with
the
the
lady,
mouth,
the
right?
mom. She was in the United States of Terra.
The
I can't
movie.
believe- no, it's
the
a
feature film.
a
I know.
show. I loved it. It was a
What?
great show.
Something Collette.
Toni Collette. Toni.
Toni Collette. Yeah.
She's Australian.
She has a mouth. I'm like, that's the lady with the mouth, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Toni
She knows
Collette.
what that mouth.
Why
do.
was she in Terra?
She was the main character in that show.
Oh.
It was Emmy nominated, sis. Where were you?
I really was not paying attention to that. Yeah, but she's like, I've seen her before. She's always good in this.
She's a
stuff
good
I've
actor.
seen. Yeah.
What that forehead do?
With that forehead do.
She knows. Gets bronzed.
I really want to watch that movie. So how was Han Solo? How was David Glover in Han Solo? More important.
Donald Glover was. You called him David.
David Glover?
You called him David.
David Glover?
You called Donald Glover David Glover.
Just now?
Yeah.
Play back the tape. I don't believe.
Oh, I'll do it. And I'll slow it down.
No.
But anyways,
I'll watch 3 YouTube tutorials to figure it out.
yeah. He was good. He was an interesting character. He was kind of like a dick though. And I mean, spoiler alert, he is in love with the robot.
Hot.
The robot that's voiced by the woman that plays the big lady in Game of Thrones. The big strong lady. Brienne of
Brienne?
Tarth. Yeah.
Brienne isn't.
Brienne is the robot. The robot's voiced by Brienne.
Work. Isn't Emily Clark in this movie too?
Emilia Clarke is in this movie.
Emily.
And you are just fucking it up
Well,
today.
I don't care about her
You're
because
cutting
I
up.
call her LaQuisi.
LaQuisi.
She's my LaQuisi.
Lakeisha.
Lakeisha.
But anyways, she
Khalifa.
was in it as well, and she has a British accent because, I mean, she can't be bothered to change that about herself. And it was good. I mean, like, her role was interesting.
She's like, you're still gonna pay me, so it's fine.
Yeah. And the guy that played Han Solo was forgettable. The person that played Chewbacca was tall. And the story didn't need to be told. I just didn't think it was that interesting of a movie. Like,
Is that a standalone film?
it's supposed to be like the beginning. It's to show how Han Solo began his like career in the Resistance. Yeah, and at the end of the movie, they're like, join the Resistance. He's like, no thanks, but like, you know, later on he helps out. But it was just not. I just didn't like it very much. I just felt like the story didn't need to be told. It felt very much like, well, what's Disney gonna sell from this? Like, what kind of merch are they gonna have? That was like the whole thing I was thinking about the movie. I was like, what can be sold other than more Millennium Falcons?
I mean, they can do new action figures, like basically anything, just with their face slapped on there.
Yeah, I guess.
If like they like one of the secondary characters.
Yeah.
Fucking anything. They'll bring Pogs back or something.
Porgs.
What are those called? Those little coin things?
Those are Pogs.
Pogs?
Those are Pogs.
Yeah.
The little flippy ones.
Yeah.
It's a Pog, mama.
I never lived that life.
Yeah. I never got into them either. I had them, but I never got into them.
Were you a tech deck person?
No.
Did you ever tech deck?
I thought it was stupid.
I never did it, but like my nephews did it, and I was always really envious about it. I was just like, I think I was
envious of your finger skateboard.
Yeah, I think I was like,
that is easily attainable.
I think in my mind I was like, oh, that's like a boy thing to do. If I like take it to school, I'm gonna get made fun of.
No, girls.
But I really wanted
girls
to
played
do
with them too. It's a finger skateboard. But
It's
you know what?
so
Masculinity is a
cool.
prison. I get it. But I just didn't like Han Solo. I thought it was a dumb story. I just felt like it's not necessary. But whatever. If you want to tell this story, go for it.
Is it like Rogue One, where it's like
because Rogue One introduced, like, at the very end of it, you know, what did it give us? Hope. And that, like, fell into A New Hope. But this movie was just like, the Resistance is mentioned, but it doesn't join it.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Because it's a setup. For more.
Exactly. And it just shows a little bit about, like, the romance that he has with Emilia Clarke's character in the movie, which, I mean, you don't really see again afterwards. You know what I mean? Like, she never comes up in the other movies, so it was like, why did she need to be talked about then?
Wait, does she go away?
Yeah, at the end of the movie, she, like, floats away. She's like, oh, bye. I'm a bad guy.
Oh, really? Who is she?
She is, like, an apprentice to, like, this evil dude who she ends up killing, but then reports back to, like, the dark side about, like, oh, I'm doing this and that, and they're like, we'll come back.
She's a double agent.
Kind of. It's kind of, like, hard to tell at the end of the movie, because she's, like, really, like, nice to him, even though he's, like, aiding in the Resistance, but she, like, is still loyal to, like, the dark side and, like, the people who are in the dark side, like, the guy that wears the robe that knows how to use the Force. I don't even know his fucking name.
Oh, the one with the red face?
I believe so. I forget what his face looked like, but that
something
one.
with an A. Anakin? No. Yeah, Anakin?
Who cares?
I don't know.
He's in it.
I don't know.
He's her boss in the movie, and he's like, come back, and she's like, okay, and she like tells Anakin, oh, go do this real quick and come back, and he's like, okay, and then when he's going to do his little task for her, she leaves, and he sees her leaving, and it was just like, okay, well then why is this? Okay, fine, I guess. That's how it felt. Like, okay, fine, I guess.
Okay, that's over now.
It was a movie. It was kind of long.
Oh no, that's not right. Who's the guy with the red face?
It doesn't matter.
No, it's not Anakin. God, what's his name? Something with an S? It's not gonna work. Red face
Star Wars, honestly. I don't know why you didn't.
I don't like
Boom.
red and black face Star Wars. Who is this though? Is this guy right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe it was him.
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul.
I'm an idiot.
You know.
These are from the that's such like a bad makeup. He's so shiny.
Don't drag him.
Fuck my drag, huh?
I know, right?
I never got into Star Wars. Did you watch all the Star Warses? All of them? Even the prequels, sequels.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Why?
I don't know. I just didn't expect that. I'm not.
I didn't either. Mark made me watch them.
Okay.
He was like, "Well, I want to go see the new one with you, so you need to watch all of these." I've seen all of the director's cut Lord of the Rings too.
Well, that
Director's cuts, Nancy. I've spent at least 14 hours in front of a TV.
In a row? Did you watch them in a row?
We watched, I think, 2 in a row one day, and that was a lot.
What is in the director's cut? Just extra scenes?
Extra scenes, add-on, like parts of the story that make the whole, like parts of the movie that were cut that make the story more cohesive. Yeah, so it like makes more sense. And I haven't even seen the original cut, so it's like I only know the full director's cut.
That's actually kind of cool.
So if I ever end up watching the original cuts, I'm gonna be like,
where's this scene?
What happened to the scene where he gets bit by the tarantula? Like, I'm just gonna be like, what?
That's actually kind of cool. I've never thought of watching a movie for the first time with a director's cut. Like, if a movie has a director's cut.
Yeah. And Mark's like read all the books and all that shit. So.
Damn. I've only ever seen the first Lord of the Rings. And I've seen a lot of chunks of the second Lord of the Rings, but I've never seen. There's a third.
I haven't seen the Hobbits. I've seen like the first 2 Hobbits, and then Mark was like, "These are stupid. Let's not watch these."
I've seen the first 2 Hobbits.
Yeah.
In theaters.
Yeah, me too.
But they weirded me out because they did that weird like 60 frames per second situation where everything was like
makes you dizzy.
I don't like
You're like my human eyes.
Yeah, I was just like, there's a lot of information happening.
I'm not that advanced yet.
Yeah.
Biologically.
Yeah. Okay.
I get that.
So that was your chancla? That it was just like not.
It just wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
It just did not feel like a necessary story to tell. Like you get the Star Wars franchise without that story.
Yeah.
It doesn't fill in any blanks really.
I mean,
you essentially learn from that movie how he got the Millennium Falcon.
Really?
Yeah.
How did
Donald Glover's character owns it in the movie, and he loses a bet to Donald Glover. And in the movie, Emilia Clarke is friends with Donald Glover's character, and she's like, "Hey, we need to borrow a ship." He's like, "You can borrow mine. It's the Millennium Falcon." And at the end of the movie, Han Solo has like these little like.
Does he steal it?
He doesn't steal it. He bets his ship in the movie, and then like that storyline gets like thrown away because obviously, and yeah, it just like doesn't matter. And when they go get the Millennium Falcon, he finds out that like Donald Glover cheats when they play cards, and that's why he won last time. So the next time he plays at the end of the movie, he bets like he's like, "Well, you bet your ship, and I'll bet you this thing that's worth more than your ship." And he's like,
it's a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
It's like they're like weird. You know how Star Wars money currency is? It's just like,
no, I don't.
It's like a little plasma thing, and he's like, it's worth this many units, and I'm like, I don't understand. I can't equate that. Whatever. Yen. So he does that and like breaks his little machine that gives the card, and he ends up using the card that he had up his sleeve to win, and then he gets the Millennium Falcon. And then
so he's like, I'm gonna play the way you play.
Yeah, he basically stole it from him, but in like a fair way, because the first time they played against each other, he stole from him. Yeah.
Huh.
But that's the only story you get out of it. Otherwise,
that's like the only advancement in the plot.
And Emilia Clarke talking to the robot about having sex with Donald Glover. That's also interesting.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she says because she's like, he has feelings for me, blah blah blah, and Emilia Clarke is like, sis, sure.
But like,
and the robot is like, no, like for real, he has like feelings for me, and like I don't want to do that. It's, we're built different, blah blah. And she's just like, so you guys have like been like, have you tried things? And she's like, and the robot's like, yeah, sis. And Emilia Clarke just like makes mention, and she's like, well, how does that work? And she's like, she just says like, oh, we make it work. And I'm like, what does that mean?
If cars could talk.
If cars could talk.
If this car could talk. Have you seen that?
She gives him the whir, if you know what I mean.
Have you seen that TLC episode of like My Strange Addiction where he's like in love with the car?
No, like love, like he's infatuated.
Like he's in a relationship with his car. I don't know if it's a show or if it's part of My Strange Addiction, but it's this guy who's in love with his car, and it's a piece of shit car. It's not even like a cute car. It's like a old like Honda Civic. Yeah, but whatever, to each their own. He's in a relationship with his car, and the car's name's like Chase, so it's like a gay relationship. So he like came out to his dad or he didn't come out. He
as
came
autosexual.
as autosexual. Yeah, he was washing the car and like cleaning it, and he's just like, so you're in love with your car, and he's like, or you have a relationship with your car, and he's like, yes, and he's like, how do you do that? And he's just like, do you?
I go to the microwave. I heat up a banana peel.
He's like, are you intimate? And he's just like, yeah, I rub up against it. And sometimes that includes masturbation. And he's
What
just
does
like,
that mean?
and there's this clip.
I would
of
not
him.
want to touch that gear shift. Mm-mm.
It's pretty fucking bad. Like, he lays under the car and he's just like, and I'm just like, yo, dude, you're under your car, you're gonna be all oily. Because it's like a car that's low to the ground.
I bet it is.
I'm just like, ooh, that interior. I hope it's a leather interior so you can just like wipe it down.
What a fun time.
Yeah.
What a wet and wild time.
What a wet and wild time. I can't remember. TLC.
Oily greasy boys.
Auto.
Wait, you don't have a chancla or like a peak or?
I don't. Well,
because I have just peaks left.
The most recent chancla that I can think of is the loss of my beloved Ms. Cracker on RuPaul's Drag Race. I said that yesterday too. RuPaul's Drag Race. But I mean, it was her time to go. Yeah. I guess this is probably gonna be posted like weeks after the finale, but this is her episode. I wasn't disappointed because she just came off of a win, but I feel like she very much got that win because of Miss Cookie. And the fact that other people didn't do as much as they could have done with that, and just their pairings were
did the most
awkward. Yeah, because Cookie became a woman.
Chester C is nowhere to be found. Chester C had gender reassignment.
Chester C is my peak of the week.
Chester C's Miss
I've literally
Cookie.
watched that episode like
I'm sorry, you
5
can't
times.
call her Miss Cookie. It's Ms. Cookie.
Ms. Cookie.
Ms. Cookie.
Yeah. She
Cracker and Cookie though. That's great.
Cracker and Cookie, which apparently, have you seen the review of Review of the Jew for that?
No.
She says that they had the weekend to kind of just like sit and not do anything. So I guess they came in on a Friday and they met on a Friday, and then they had the weekend to just kind of like be in seclusion. Yeah. And then they came back on Monday and finished the challenge. And he told Chester, think of a name. And the original name that Chester was going to be was like the Filipino word for cracker, because he's Filipino, or he's half Filipino. Yeah. And Rue in the walk around was like, no one's gonna remember that. So try again. And she's just like, well, fuck. And so she's like, think of a name. And then they go and they have the weekend, and she comes back and she's like, okay, what's your name? And Chester's just like, hello. What is my name? And she's like, God damn it.
She didn't think of it. She was busy.
I was busy. I wasn't doing anything. Yeah. And she's like, well, fuck. And so I think Cracker thought of it, Miss Cookie. But
it's cute. It's a cute name. Perfect for Chester C's character.
That reveal when yes.
Where she like did the little like, and then she was like, it's over. I did it. She like freaks out.
She's like, oh my God. Or she goes like, and she's like, I'm having fun. And she's like, I present to you.
He was unrecognizable in drag.
The fact that he went in full beard, I was just like, yes.
And he let her shave it.
It was going to be dramatic no matter what.
Yeah.
Everybody else didn't have any facial hair.
Anthony Padilla looked like shit. Frankie Grande looked like Divine Minnie.
Frankie Grande looked like...
Todrick? Not Todrick. Todrick is the dance coach. Kingsley. I always forget Kingsley's name. I don't know why.
I love Kingsley.
I like him too, but I don't watch his stuff. I guess that's probably why I don't recognize him.
Yeah, he doesn't post that much.
But Kingsley, he was painted well, but his outfit was trash.
His outfit, what was the significance of those feathers?
They were both red.
Was that to just not have the like white corset, the white bodice be blank? Because those feathers didn't have anything to do with anything. Because she was like regal, like she didn't have, like Aquaria didn't have any feathers. That was her weakest moment, which sucks. because you could tell that she went to the competition to prioritize herself. She's like, oh, well, I have this corset and we have this red fabric.
No, they're told what to bring.
Yeah.
She was told.
I mean, she did have like a princess outfit, but that top did not look like she thought about it.
No.
It didn't even.
But her
look
hair
like...
was cute and her makeup was really pretty.
I didn't like her hair.
I liked her hair. I thought it was cute.
It was like Texas hair.
Yeah, it was.
That was like stiff on the top. That was like an Amy Winehouse Party City wig.
It was fun though. I liked her makeup nervous. Then.
Yeah.
Her makeup.
The makeup. I mean, the outfit was cute, but it just did. It wasn't.
He still looked very much like Kingsley though, under the makeup, because like he still had like the same facial features. But I guess like why break?
It works.
Yeah. Why fix it if it's not broke? Yeah. He has really good cheeks.
He has really good cheeks. Those arms, like long arms, and he's tall and like.
Yeah. Cute. Who was Monet's? Oh, Tyler Oakley.
That was a mess.
That was
But they had so much fun.
I like that Monet has consistently like had like not very good looks on the runway
at all.
Like she does well in the challenges.
The one look that she did well was the really colorful like
that church outfit.
That
church look.
That one was
really pretty.
One.
But was it good because it was colorful and fitted?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That was like.
She didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Because she didn't make that.
No. But no, Tyler Oakley. I love that. Like they made Tyler really thick, but they made him like wear boy face when he had like his padding on just to do the wall.
Down with the thickness.
He was down with the thickness. It was funny. It was a cute challenge. But Chester C took that shit home. He can always take home like I was the best.
And he's I've watched I guess Miss Cracker and his like Insta stories or whatever, and he's been like going to her shows. Like I don't know if he lives in New York or whatever. He does?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I think he relocated when he was on Broadway. Because Chester C was on Broadway for a little bit.
Really? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
For what? I don't know. What? I don't know that.
I only knew that because of Grace Helbig.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
when they were dating.
I didn't know that. Well, yeah. Miss Cracker was in I was gonna say on Broadway. Was in New York and performing in New York, and he went to go see her, and they do the little photo ops. He went to DragCon LA, took a picture with her, and then he went to the finale, and he was with her at the finale.
Well, he should have been in drag at DragCon. That would have been the gag of the season.
He should have, but I mean, he obviously needs.
He should have gotten his own meet and greet. Honestly,
yeah,
he should have had his own meet and greet line.
Dude. He just,
right next to Miss Vanjie.
I love that Miss Vanjie's legacy is just living through this whole season. She needs to come
RuPaul
back
had
for
a
All
gold
Stars.
necklace made.
Yeah. She needs to come back for an All Stars. She'll be gone in the first couple episodes, but she needs to come back because she was funny.
It was just.
She is funny.
She was so tiny, but her voice was so Vanjie.
And she's painted. Who would you out of this season? Who would you like to see in like an All Stars or?
All Stars. Miss Vanjie. Mm-hmm. I'm not interested in seeing Monet again. Unfortunately, I'm not. She had a great personality. I'd like to see Monique Hart. Now that she has the funds, you know what I mean.
I feel like Monique is like the Chi-Chi.
Mm-hmm. Who else?
But creative.
Yeah. Who else?
More creative.
So. Cracker, obviously.
I would want to see Cracker too.
Cracker, now that she knows what her weakness was and what she like needs to work on, because her shit's together.
Yeah.
But she just doesn't execute everything.
I think Cracker would have a Katya moment, and be like, "Well, I doubted myself a lot, but
I don't do that anymore.
But I'm just gonna have fun with this one."
Remember when what was it? The guy that was like, "You should be doing this for the challenge," and she like completely disregarded what he wanted.
Katya?
Yeah.
Oh, it was like a video challenge where they had a product.
The anxiety water spray stuff.
Yeah, I like that one. I didn't see the episode, but I saw her little clip, and she kind of just fucking.
You're not good enough.
Yeah,
it was so funny.
Yeah, I like that one.
God bless.
I miss Katya.
I mean, listen to her podcast; she'll be fine.
I have been, but like, it's a lot.
The guy that is listening with her, like the gay guy that's not wild and crazy. That just like tries to make sense out of the conversation that she's like, "Oh mama, yes girl," and he's just like,
"Bring it back to earth."
He's like, "Okay." So.
But he like rolls. I like him because he like brings her back when needed, but
he also lets her
just go, and he goes with it.
He lets her make the mess.
Yeah.
And he'll laugh sometimes at her too. I think that's cute.
Yeah, and he for the most part like they're on the same page and they know exactly what.
I love that he calls her Carol and Barbara throughout the podcast. Like he never actually calls him by his name.
Yeah, Barbara. Yeah, they're Videodrome Disco. I hate. This is just like a pet peeve from that podcast. He's like, he says their like Twitter handles and Instagram handles, and he's like, it's Katya _ Zamo, and I am Videodrome Disco. That's VIDO Drome Disco, and I'm like, bitch. Is it drone, DRONE, or DROME?
Because people don't know how to spell video, but they know how to spell drome.
Yeah, and I'm like, what?
You know.
It made me so upset the first time.
We make emphasis on the things that people may get wrong.
I was like, you know your fucking Twitter handle. I don't, bitch.
That's really funny.
Videodrome Disco.
So your chancla was...
My chancla is Miss Cracker getting eliminated, but I mean, I'm just bitter about it.
She was up against Cameron, though. And Cameron... We talked about this last night.
Is a woman.
She's a fully fledged female. She wore a thong.
She wore a thong, and she's padded. She has like probably like 5 or 6 pairs of stockings on, and over that, she wore a thong.
She wore a thong. She knew. She was like, I need to be prepared for the worst. I'm glad that Cameron was also woman enough to compensate for the fact that Lena Dunham was on the show this week.
Whatever do you mean?
So I like my favorite scene from this episode was the scene we had to rewind and watch back
on Untucked.
With Cameron, literally during Untucked, just completely ignoring Lena Dunham to get ready for the lip sync, even though she already knew the song.
She did say she's like, I know the song.
They were like, oh, do you need to get ready? And she like sat there and was like, no, I already know the song.
Yeah. I think it was Asia that was trying to like get her to talk to her. And she was like screaming next to Miss Cracker.
She's like, do you want to just come over here?
She's like, come closer to me. And she went and she had her moment and she like, she didn't complain.
She had a very frustrated moment. She was just like, well,
I'm obviously not good enough.
She's like, they should just send me home if I'm not going to be good enough for them every week.
Yeah.
She's like, because
that's their third time.
She's putting out such good work though too. Like,
I think her weakest moment was the twin.
The twin, yeah.
And I think she just got so overwhelmed with the presentation, like not even the presentation of it, but just like everything that they had to do, because they had to make that stupid little video too, and at that point they had to be in.
She should be Miss Congeniality, honestly. She's very congenial. If they're not gonna call her fan favorite, they need to call her Miss Congeniality. You know what I mean?
I haven't watched enough seasons to know the queens that like were considered congenial.
It's basically just like the queen who didn't have any problems with anyone, and she's the only queen.
But she also doesn't talk to anybody.
She does when they talk to her. She just minds her business real hard.
Because I remember like Cynthia, I watched her.
Cynthia Lipon, those fucking.
I watched her seasons, and she was very like.
Cynthia Ali.
Like Cynthia Ali. She was very like approachable and like motherly to other people.
Yeah, she was really helpful.
So whenever someone had a problem, she wouldn't need anybody to come to her. She would like
walk over, and be like, look, this is how you do it.
To help or just advice or anything. So that's like my experience with the congeniality aspect.
Latrice was congeniality for her season.
Yeah.
And that makes perfect sense to me because Latrice, I want a piece.
I want a piece of Latrice too. So I don't know who it's gonna go to. I'm actually kind of scared that it's gonna go to Eureka.
I better fucking not.
But
that bitch better get nothing but the boot.
Eureka, Miss Congeniality is voted on by the fans, no? That's why last season...
It's still RuPaul's decision, though.
I mean, last season she gave it to Valentina.
Yep.
RuPaul doesn't know what happens in that workroom.
He watches it all happen in Untucked.
Yeah.
He watches as it happens.
I think it's gonna go to... I honestly think it might go to Eureka, but I think it's gonna actually go to Asia.
If she doesn't win.
Yeah. I think it's gonna go to Asia.
I really don't want Eureka to win.
Cameron... Who's left? Cameron, Aquaria...
Eureka,
Why'd you go to
and
Vixen?
Asia.
Why'd you go to Vixen?
That would be a gag. That'd be great. You know, let's circle back a little bit and digress. There was an online poll happening, and it had a bot attack, and the Vixen was the winner. By like 4 million votes or something, or 40 million
of congeniality
votes.
What? I mean, she brought up very important conversations, which I'll give her that. Because I think she
was like her own saboteur though throughout the season. Like,
yeah,
she was very much like me against the world when people wanted to help.
Yeah,
like when her and Asia, was it Asia she sat with, and Asia was like, look,
right before she got eliminated. Yeah, she Yeah, and it's a defense mechanism. It's kind of the same thing that happens with like Cracker, where she's like, I know I'm good. I see that. I just want everybody else to see that, but I want them to see it my way. And if you don't agree with that, you're wrong. Or like, not you're wrong. For Vixen, it was like, if you don't agree with that, you're wrong. But also, the thing that irked me in the episode where she went away and the episode before that was that she was asking Eureka to be less of herself, and Eureka was just like, no, you don't have to like me. I'm sorry that you don't like me. I wish we could get along, but no, I can't do that. I've done that for X amount of years. Like, this is not the time. And I'm definitely not going to do it here, where if I do that, I could get booted off of the fucking season. Like, true. No. And Eureka just doesn't know when to stop talking. This fucking episode during Untucked, I just want to say, and everyone looks at her like... But, like, exactly. But at least now she asks... She doesn't necessarily ask for permission, but she says, I'm that she's speaking. About to speak. Yeah. Prepare to get annoyed. Prepare to just, like, disassociate. Which is great, because you want the warning. You want the disclaimer. You're just like... Cool, I can go get more water. Yeah. But Vixen had the same kind of personality. It was just on the other side of the spectrum. She was like, she came in and literally announced, like, I'm here to take no shit. Yeah. And she was unapologetically herself. And I think it was like the first or second episode of Untucked where they're like, hey, can you fucking chill out a little bit? Stop being so aggro. She's like, no, that's who I am. And so I just didn't understand that moment on stage where everybody said Vixen's name. I understand that she felt like hurt because all of the sisters of the season were calling her out, saying that she didn't have to be there, and she had just been in the bottom probably, I think, twice. I understand that she felt hurt, but she didn't have to go off and like basically pick on Eureka and call her out for being unprofessional, like stuff that has no context in terms of the competition, and then like ask her to be less of herself when she's being unapologetically herself. Like, they're both being unapologetically themselves. Yeah. If there's any person that's like not being themselves, it would be like Cracker. Yeah. So it would be I think Eureka, the Vixen's problem with Eureka, like that whole statement of her like being less of herself. I don't know if you saw it, but there's a video of Monique Hart explaining why she had that outbreak on stage, and said that was during the challenge where she was Blue Ivy as Snatch Game, right? Where like that's the episode that all happened. So what? I think it was Monique. I could be wrong. I think it was Monique. What was it? She talks about how during the filming, Eureka would get in the middle of everyone. Like, if they asked Maya, if they asked like, you know, Monique or fucking Asia or you know, on stage. No, during Snatch Game, like, you know how everyone gets to answer the questions. She'd butt in during the middle of like them like putting their little joke. Yeah. And the producers had to keep asking her like, "What are you doing? Stop!" Like, it's, you know, it's Maya Angelou's turn, and then it's Blue Ivy's, and then it's yours. You wait till your turn to do that. Or you wait until a lull in the conversation for like to chime in. And you don't go when someone's being asked to answer a question. And Monique said that, you know, that was why the Vixen had like such an outbreak, and made that statement was because of the fact that like it was all due to unprofessionalism. You know how she said that, but like it didn't make sense on the edit. That's why. See, and I wish they would have left that. And at least like one or two instances of her. That's why you have to watch Untucked, because it gives you a little more scope, but not everything. And you do have to wait for like the queens to talk. Like Willem just spilled like hella tea on his season about why he was eliminated, what happened during filming, you know, everything about what happened during his season that like everyone had problems. That was weird. It was weird, and there was a lot going on. Just like threw up and left. Yeah. But there was like way more to it, and that's but it was why because he was sneaking in or sneaking out to. It was more than just conjugal visits. What was it? It was he talks about how one of the PAs was making like he called Latrice something, and he made like he also had arguments with the same PA about other queens, and he was like he called him out for being racist towards Latrice, and he talked about how the queens were being mistreated, like they only paid like $70 for all the queens to eat Taco Bell one night, and it was barely enough for everyone to actually like eat everything. He made like he broke down the filming days. Whoa! Did this on like a iOS YouTube video? No, it was he just posted it on Twitter. His NDA, I guess, expired, and he was just like, "Let's go." Jeez. I wish
So
more people did that.
Willem like posted everything, and he was just like, and that's why I have a problem with RuPaul's Drag Race. He's like, I love the fact that it gives like my sisters platforms, but what it's done to like what the way we're treated on the show compared to like the focus of the show, which is us, just doesn't like, it's not the same thing. And yeah.
Damn.
So there's a lot of tea to be spilled. It just depends on when the NDAs expire and if you had the patience to actually open up Notepad and post everything.
Wait, yeah. Whoa, I didn't know that.
I'll show you later because it's like 5 different full like Notepad pages of like the breakdowns of the day by day.
Yeah, I want to see
Like
that.
Cracker does that on Reviews with the Jew.
But to very much to like a certain extent and to her own perspective.
He basically expands on everything they mentioned in the episode because that way you're not really giving anything that anyone doesn't already know. It's just you're filling in the blanks. So it's not really spoiling.
I like that she doesn't speak for anybody else either.
No, I like that too. He's like, he'll always be like, well, I don't know exactly what she was thinking, but this is what happened. So it was like, boom. Take it as you ask.
It's short and sweet because it's like 10-minute
Yeah.
clips. Yeah, I want to see that because that's always really interesting. That just coming from like a set mindset, you can be on a very difficult set, and the product that is a summation of all of that hard work and all of that frustration can still be very good.
Yeah. I'm sure they get better treatment now though.
I hope so.
They're on that VH1 money.
I mean, regardless of the money or anything like that, you can be in a very nice place, but like if the people that are like specifically the PAs are the heart blood of any production, and if any of them are just not being mindful or just don't know what they're doing on any, or just being disrespectful, like it changes your whole, because those are the people that you count on to do things for you.
To fetch your Red Bull,
dude. Yeah.
to make sure you eat,
Yeah.
to wrangle you in for filming. I like that they're featured in Untucked though. I like that they don't like not feature the back of the set, the backdrops, the people walking them to, from, explaining what's happening next. Like I like that about it because it gives like everyone a name. And it also exposes trade sometimes, which I think is cute.
Oh my god.
Anyways, that's a good chancla. I like that.
Yeah. It came. Yeah, I just wanted her to do really good, and I'm not necessarily like disappointed. I think she still did well.
Her booking fee's up. Whenever someone gets eliminated, I just think like, well, you know what? They're getting back to work that much faster.
100%.
With more
And
money.
she's been putting in work. The fact that she has, I mean, she's already been doing YouTube apparently. I didn't know that, but
The faster your single can get released.
Yeah. I liked her little exit message too. She was like, what did she say? Cracker? No, share. Why did she say cockroaches?
I don't know.
Did she do something on the runway that had cockroach?
They had that end of the world thing. Remember they had that challenge where they like filmed the ad about apocalypse stuff?
Oh yeah.
But I don't remember that.
I don't remember either. I don't know, but she's like, what did she say? I don't know. I just remember I liked it. Okay, so tell me one of your peaks, because you said you had multiple.
I have 2. But okay. So let's talk about the fact that it's Junio. Bitch.
What's that?
It's Pride Month.
Oh.
How can we not talk about Pride Month, Nancy? Excuse you so much.
What did you say just now?
Junio.
Junio. Oh, okay.
Yes. So it's Pride Month.
It is.
Happy Pride.
It is. Happy Pride.
Thanks.
Hopefully it's still
my month.
Pride Month when this comes out.
It should be towards the end.
It should be towards the end. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm trying to find some Pride merch. I'm trying to find Pride merch that doesn't go towards H&M.
Yeah. That's always hard. I think that's always hard just with any sort of...
Because it's hard to be mindful of that kind of thing, too.
In general. Just like at all. Like any sort of activism, you vote basically with your dollar. I think it's hard to be mindful and do the research because it takes a lot of googleando.
Yeah. Oh, and shout outs to Thomas Shim, the guy who's making all of the artwork for MTA in New York. That is just having the time of his life, privately funding all of these funny little Pride Month flyers.
Yeah, I thought that was really
basically
cute.
telling like the straights to fuck off this month.
Yeah.
And this is our train.
Just like, this train supports.
This train is gay as hell. Get over it.
And if you don't like it, you can walk, bitch.
Boy, bye.
Yeah, boy, bye.
Literally, like, one of the alternate methods of transportation, Miss Vanjie.
Miss Vanjie. Oh my god, I can't believe it.
I love it. I just, that's good marketing.
That's good marketing. That's a good use of like just
And I found out the reason he's doing it, well, he himself has a business where he does advertising kind of stuff, which is, I mean, if you give the gays something to, if you give a gay a talent, they will stand for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gays stand hard. We still claim Jake Gyllenhaal from Brokeback Mountain. Brokeback Mountain? Brokeback Mountain. Who cares? The one with Jake Gyllenhaal and the guy that's dead now. That movie, we still stand Jake Gyllenhaal for it. I'm not kidding. We fully stand him. We supported him in his relationship with She Who Shall Not Be Named. We knew he'd get through it.
I don't remember her. I don't know her.
I don't know her either.
I've already forgot.
But yeah, that's just a real quick peek because I'm excited about Pride Month.
Yeah.
I'm happy about it.
Do you have your eyes on any merch?
I'm going through everything right now. I'm looking at all the sites.
Is that a thing that always happens? I guess I just don't frequent like stores.
Brands are more so learning like, oh,
let's capitalize on this.
Yeah, like, oh, we can make like money and donate to charity at the same time. Like, the gays are wild. Like,
what?
They just companies definitely underestimate the gays.
Yeah,
that's a niche audience, but we don't go away. We don't leave. I've stanned Ali X since like Collection 1, and she's like Pride Monthing it up. Do you know that Vine, the Who Is She?
No.
Dun, 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 you don't know it?
No.
Oh, I'll show it to you. It's so good.
Big Vine person.
Yeah, she just talked about Pride Month on her thing. She was like, I'm trying to absorb all this queer energy, and Team 10 is making it very hard for me to do that.
Wait, who's Team 10?
Logan Paul. Yeah.
Oh.
So she had like a thing with Logan Paul. He like remade her Vine, and she asked him like, I don't want to be associated with you in any way, shape, or form, so please don't.
Delete that.
And he like replied to it again with him misusing the Vine but giving her the finger. And she's just like, thanks for the @king.
Wow.
Yeah, so she got like followers
cool
out of it. She's very cool. She's very funny.
I haven't like dove that deep to like follow her on Twitter or anything like that. But I like her music.
But Pride Month.
It's happening.
I'm prideful. One of my coworkers asked me, they were like, what are you doing for Pride Month? Like, are you going to go anywhere? Blah, blah, blah. And I was just, it was in a team meeting, and I was just like, oh, I was just planning to be gay.
And I knew you were going to say something like that. It's like, oh, I'm just going to be like gay.
I'm just going to be gay.
I think I'm
and
gay.
She looked at me like, I hate you. And my manager had the same reaction. She like didn't know how to react. She turned super red and was like, can I laugh? I was like, yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
So,
you're dumb.
I've just been so extra this month, and we're not even like 10 days in, and I've boosted pizza.
Can you please tell us that story? Because for the I don't know if Gaddy,
for the girls at home.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a local thing. Is Gaddy's
Mr. Gaddy's. It's a Gaddy's franchise, so we're living in a Gaddy world.
We're living in
a Gat world.
I don't know if that's just like a Texas thing.
I don't know if it's Texan
like
either.
It should be. We'll find out.
I believe Gaddy's goes to like different states. It's like Sonic.
Sonic is everywhere, babe.
Yeah, but like it's like in select states though.
Oh, okay.
Not in every state, but like certain
true.
ones. I think it's like that in a way. But yeah, this month, a few days ago, like 2 days ago, the day before yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't accidentally do it. I walked into a Gaddy town.
First, you have to explain the layout for the people that don't know, because I didn't even know.
So there's Gaddy's Pizza, Mr. Gaddy's Pizza, where it's just kind of like a buffet. You walk in, you pay at the register, and then you get your food. That's
kinda
Gaddy's
like
Pizza.
CC's?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
It's the equivalent of a CC's, a Gaddy's Pizza. Gaddy Town is an extension of Gaddy's Pizza where you can host parties in private rooms. And you can also go to the very back, which is an arcade / amusement park, because there's actually like certain like little things you can ride. There's like bumper cars, and there's that like one that like jerks you up in the air and then puts you back down really fast. That one.
The dildo. I don't like those.
Yes. So those are there, and I went to a Gaddy Town, and then there's Gaddy Land, which I've never been to, but I hear it's like it pops off. It goes harder than Gaddy Town. But anyways, Gaddy Town is where I went. I walk in, and there's like this small lobby that you can't really sit in, but it's more for like crowds to stand in and get AC. And you can go in, and there's like 3 registers. And I walk in, and there's a girl at the register, and she's just like, "Oh, it's good," because we're in Texas. And she disappears. She walks away, and I'm just like, "Oh, maybe she's coming right back. I'll wait a little bit." She doesn't come back. She like disappears.
How
into
long
like.
Did you wait?
I was there for at least like 45 seconds.
Okay.
I was like, okay. She didn't say she'd be back. She was just like, what's up? And then left. And I was like, And I was like sweaty, and I was also hungry and thirsty. Because I had just finished donating. That's why I got pizza, because I was like, oh, I need to eat something. So I donated today. Plasma. And when she disappeared, I waited. And I was like, okay, it's almost been a minute. She's not here. What's going on? So I walk in, and I see that she's like in the kitchen.
Is it a separate room? Like, is there a wall divider, or is it just like...
No, it's just the lobby, and then the registers. It's like when you take a train. You go through like the divider, and then you're free to go into like whatever. So I walk in, and I'm like, I'll just do a lap, because I don't know like if she's gonna come back to the register. I'm willing to pay. And that's when I started snapping, because I like walked in and I like started doing, and I started walking by the little like privacy rooms where you can like have your parties. And I was just like, I don't know what's happening. I'm just like in Gaddy Town now. I'm like walking through the arcade wondering like, am I stealing yet? Like, when is it stealing?
Yeah.
So I'm like exposing myself so hard.
Did you save those snaps?
No, they're gone.
Like, I'm disappointed in you.
Don't be disappointed. It's gone. I don't want evidence. You know what I mean?
So
my $10.99. I even called beforehand to find out how much it is as an adult. And I'm kind of thankful that she didn't charge me, because I didn't want to be the one to be like, oh, just me.
Yeah.
At a buffet. Yeah, it's really sad. I like watched Wendy Williams when I sat down. Anywho.
I do that all the time at the mall.
Yeah. So I went and did that, and I walked around, and I came back, and she's still like in the kitchen, and she's like talking to someone about like life. She's not talking about work or anything. She's just like, oh yeah, I went there the other day, and we did that. And I'm just like, okay, so she doesn't give a fuck, because she saw me walk in. She doesn't care.
So she's gonna get fired anyway.
Yeah.
Regardless of me.
You're right. And I think another couple came in, like a couple with like a kid came in too, and just like walked in. Yeah. Because she didn't say anything. And like, I came there to eat. Yeah. Paying is like necessary, but like, bitch, I came to eat.
But also secondary.
Yeah. Or non. I was ready to pay that $10.99, Nancy.
Usually people are when they go to a food establishment.
Yeah. So I was ready to, but she never charged me. And I got 2 plates of pizza. I got a plate of dessert.
Do you have to talk to people to get the food?
No, because it's all like, there's like there's like 2 little islands where like people can get plates. And
so it's literally like a buffet.
It's a buffet. And by the soda machine, there's cups, so you can get your cup. And you're supposed to reuse your cup.
Your only person interaction is the person that charged you in the beginning.
You ain't gotta talk to no one else unless it's about pizza. Tight. Or like one of the machines like takes your money when you're trying to do the arcade stuff. Yeah. But that's it. Heaven. It was like the weirdest thing. I was ready the entire time for someone to just like walk up and touch my shoulder and be like, "Excuse me, miss, you need to pay for this pizza." I was ready for it. But I keep hitting my mic. I was ready for it, but no one said anything.
How long were you there? Like, did you take your time?
I was there for at least 45 minutes.
So you were eating.
I was up in the gig. Like, I was not by any means rushing, because like, I wanted someone to have the opportunity to be like, "Hey, can you pay for that?" I was waiting, but I walked back and forth to that buffet. I gave her when I walked by the first time to get my second plate. Like,
she saw you in there.
She saw me in it.
Okay.
I don't know if she thought that I was with a party or something or what, because there was 2 parties happening. But I mean, even then, you would check to be like,
"Hey, what party?" But don't you still have to pay to be in the party, or do you just walk in if you're
hosting the party? I believe you can pay for a room that seats however many people.
And all those people get it for free?
I think so, because you have to pay for the room.
Oh, so they charge you a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they make endless pizza throughout the day anyways, you know? Yeah. So I don't think it's like that big of a deal. But they didn't ask me if I was with anyone. They were just like, "Hey, what's good?" That's it. Bye. And I left, and I was like, "You ladies have a wonderful night."
I would have fucking put pizza in my purse.
I thought about it. I was like, "Ooh, do I have a plastic bag?" I thought about it. But I was like, "No, don't be that girl. My bag's gonna stink. My car's gonna stink." Yeah. But yeah, that's what happened. I boosted some pizza this week, like at least 7 slices. I mean, they were Gaddy slices, so they weren't very big, but you know.
I love it. Are you gonna go back to the scene of the crime scene?
I mean, if I want pizza again.
If I want Gaddy pizza,
I'm willing to pay. Charge me.
Please charge me. This is a transaction. I'm at one point. Have you ever like in a situation like that, or a situation where you know you were doing something wrong?
I accidentally steal all the time, and sometimes I return it. Yes.
Do you ever feel bad? Yeah.
Not if it's from Walmart, no, but otherwise, yeah. Any gay. I wanted to talk about something else that I saw this week. You're letting me do all the talking, and I appreciate that.
Yes.
So, I actually called you when it happened live. I was like, Nancy! I saw a vlogger this week.
In the wild.
In the wild. It was hot outside, too.
In the Texas heat.
Yes.
In the wild.
He was literally vlogging from the bus stop because he wasn't driving. He got off the bus. And he like crossed in front of my car as I was driving up, and then he like went into Walmart, and I was like, what is he doing? Because he had like a little contraption, and it was like one of those tiny tripods that you can hold, like you can squish the arms together and hold like that. And it had like the little bulb, and then it had it was like his iPhone was attached to it. So I was like, oh, he's like an iPhone vlogger. How interesting. And I was really shook by it because I've never seen someone vlogging in person before. And he was like just talking to himself, smiling, having like the time of his life, going to Walmart. And I was like, what a fun time.
Yeah.
What a fun little job to have on the side. What a fun thing to do for yourself. I was like, I wonder if anyone watches him. And I wanted so badly to like pull over, put on my hazards, and be like, oh, what's your channel name? Are we creators?
I don't know.
Is that...
I don't associate with labels.
We put out a product, but like, are we creative? Are we considered a creator?
Content creator?
That's like when I found out what a person of color was, and I was just like, I'm POC. But anyways, did you just get that?
No, I got it.
Okay.
I just
delayed response. So I saw that this week, and I thought it was so interesting, and I was like, I mean, anyone could do that though. I could do that. But I was like, I don't think anything about me is that interesting. I don't think.
Yeah, same.
I don't think I'd
be like, I'm going to work, I'm going to lunch, I'm leaving work, I'm hanging out, washing dishes. Like, it's super late. Sometimes it would be fun, but not all the time.
I feel like vlogging would be way more interesting when I worked at JCPenney. Because I had a back room.
But nobody would be able to watch it because you would get fired.
Would I?
If you talked about work. Yeah, because I've noticed that whenever I made videos like at school, that's my highest frequency of like when I made videos. Like, everybody at school knew about it without me even... Because you know how shy I am just about the podcast. Like, if anybody brings it up, I'm just like...
Don't bring it up in real life.
Yeah.
It's Fight Club.
Yeah. I just don't talk about it. I'm just like, yeah, we have a podcast. Don't watch it. And if you do, don't tell me about it. Thanks.
But share it.
But I'll share it. It's like all over my Facebook feeds and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I've always been like that. And I don't know why, but like whenever I'm like institutionalized, like in a school, or I did it in college too, or even like at work, because we're a pretty tight knit group of people, I don't like being like put on the spot about it.
I feel like if I vlogged, I'd be like Trisha Paytas.
What does that mean?
Just weird and always in drive-thrus.
It happens. I wish I had a car. Like, if I could go back, if I could do vlogging again, I feel like I would do a lot of it in my car.
Yeah. That's where you spend a lot of time when you're not at work, in your car, doing other stuff.
Yeah. Just like going to places. Because I used to carry my camera around and like stick it in people's faces because I was always like with the same group of people. I was always that person. I understand people don't necessarily like that all the time. And I think I've grown to understand that there are moments where you want to be with people and you just want to be with
like
people.
Present.
Yeah.
And not like thinking about content.
Yeah. And I've shied away from doing that, even in like Snapchats or anything like that. I'm just not that person anymore.
It's an interesting balance, vlogging, I bet.
Yeah.
Which is why he was so much more interesting to me. I was just like, I wonder what they look like. I want to know what his channel is like. Yeah. Like, is it just like bare bones type clip? Is there any cuts, or are you just putting everything together and posting? Because you know, like HRH does that. She just films it, she doesn't cut it, and then she just puts it in.
Yeah.
Because there are vlogs of hers there where she gets in like an argument with a homeless person. Or she'll tell someone like, you're being an asshole. Like, she'll just like, it's in her vlogs. And that's why she's like such a polarizing figure on YouTube, is because of the fact that like, she doesn't care to edit. She's just like,
yeah,
here.
She doesn't put like the highlights of herself. She's like, you're going to get all of it.
You're going to get the highlights and the lowlights, mama. You're getting a full head. That's a full head of foils.
Foils. So speaking of, I mean, okay, so like, what ended up happening with the vlogger?
I got sweaty thinking about approaching him, and I just didn't approach him.
I just blotted and walked away.
Yeah.
Or drove away.
I was like, I don't know when Sonic's gonna close, so I need to go.
I need to go to
It was like the middle of the day. I was like so worried about getting chicken tenders.
What was I doing? Oh, I was like in a meeting with a friend, and I got your call, and I was like, I'm gonna take this. I was like, I'm gonna take this just really quick. And she's like, okay. And I was like, Nancy, oh my god, I just saw a vlogger on the street. Should I go up to him? And I was just like, my god, this is dumb.
I wanted to know the appropriate protocol.
I was like, what's his channel? And just
I don't want to scare him and he runs.
Yeah, you're just like, I don't know. I was like, well, he has to get used to the attention. And man, I had one. This never happened again because I just gave up on everything. But like, I was at like I was like at my nephew's middle school or high school like basketball or football game, something weird why was I there, but like someone came up to me and said, I watch your YouTube channel, and I was just like, did not know what to do. I was just like, cool, do you like it? She's like, yeah, why are you here? I was like, oh, my nephew's here. And she's like, who's your nephew? And I was just like, I'd rather not say. Just like, I'd rather not say. And I just like walked away. I was just like, well, cool, hope you like it, bye.
That's really awkward though. You can't be that way with people.
I just didn't know what to say. Nothing like that had ever happened from somebody I didn't know. I mean, it kind of had at school, but at school I very much did not give a fuck what anybody thought about me. Especially if I didn't know you. So like if you weren't in my classes or anything like that, you were not on my radar. Like I did not know who you were. I didn't really care about your opinion.
I don't have time.
Yeah. And all of our school was very much like it was very cliquey. So you kind of floated in your own little orb, and everybody floated in their own little orb. So there weren't very many people that went from friend group to friend group. And there was one person who I didn't know, who came up to me and hugged me in the hallway, and I didn't know who he was, but I knew I knew of people that were in his friend group, and I was just like, why did he feel comfortable with doing that? But you know, like teenage boys, I was just like, why did he feel comfortable doing that? And then he's just like, I like your stuff, and I was just like, what do you mean? And I just didn't know. I figured like he had probably seen something on YouTube, and like there was another guy who was very cute, and I had a crush on him, who also used that as like a segue, like to like get to talk to me. It's just like, oh,
it's a way to get someone talking though, if you want to talk about content.
Yeah, they were like, oh, I like your YouTube videos and da da da, and like this was back in MySpace days, like in my comments. Or
what were you just like, fuck me?
He was very cute.
Put your wiener in me. I'll vlog it.
I wasn't having sex. Vlog it. I wasn't having sex in those times, but no, he ended up being super shady, but he was really cute. Also, I didn't know like the boundaries of like if there was any sort of girl code involved, because he had been in a relationship with one of my acquaintances.
Oh, you didn't know the girl code for it?
Yeah.
You gotta call and ask.
I didn't have her number. Like we were close because like we had one class together, and like we spent a lot of time together in that class.
There should be like a girl code website or something.
Remember that there was a show called Girl Code,
yeah,
on MTV.
And Bro Code.
I thought that was cute, but it was just like cute.
I like when they talked about going through people's phones. They were like, don't go through his phone unless you want to be that girl, because once you go through his phone, you're that girl.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna you'll never stop being her. Not even if you never go through another phone again, you'll be that girl.
You always did that. Yeah.
Because you're gonna have to fess up to someone at some point about it.
It's hard. Yeah.
Someone asks
it's
you
hard
that question.
to do that, and like especially if you find something, whether you like it or not.
That was the other thing they said. You know, if you find, like, you go looking for something, you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what it is, you're gonna find something to be disappointed about, because you feel away already enough to go through his phone.
Yeah.
So it was like,
it's hard to like just writing that.
Let's ride that wave.
Yeah. It's hard to acknowledge that feeling and act and have a conversation about that. Emotional maturity is hard, you guys.
I like how you said that a lot. Emotional maturity is hard,
especially when you're just not even like mature. And you put yourself in situations where
you must be this emotionally mature to ride.
Yeah. I wish there was like disclaimers on like a long-term relationship. It's like you have to be this emotionally mature.
Like there's nutritional facts to people.
Yeah.
Show me your label.
Yeah.
Send me, instead of send news,
because
send me your label.
One of the situations in which that happened to me I was with my ex-boyfriend, and we had been together. The first time that I looked through his phone, we had been together for about almost almost 2 years, I think, around 2 years, and I didn't necessarily feel some type of way about it. I'm a very curious person. I don't know, maybe that's the Scorpio in me. I just felt really curious, and I was just like, let's go through his phone.
You went through my Google search last night. You were like, ooh.
Yeah, I opened Miguel like went to the restroom, and he's like, type in Xfinity so we can watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and I was just like, I wonder. And you were already out at this point. I was like, I wonder what happens when I type P into your search bar. I just wanted to know if any porn was gonna pop up. And like, he's like, do it, and I was like, I did it, and it did. He was exposed, but honestly, in my last phone, my auto type, my like, when you type a word and it like auto predicts, literally would predict you porn. Like if I try to type in,
I'm a Pornhub girl, so I don't know.
I am too now, but
Pornhub's where it's at.
I am
you
now.
porn. I don't fuck with her. I don't know her.
You porn. I don't know what was my affinity to it. Maybe it was like the pink.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I don't know what it was. Scheme. I just had a preference back then. It was like how in high school I was like a Pepsi person, and then I like would talk so much shit on Dr. Pepper because it tasted like medicine.
And now that's how you live your life.
And now I just only drink. Well, I don't exclusively drink Dr. Pepper, but I'm like Dr. Pepper Coke. When I'm feeling like vanilla, I'll have a Coke. And when I feel like they don't serve Coke, I'll have a Dr. Pepper. Yeah, I didn't really have a reason to go through his phone. Not that I can very like point.
I mean, you don't need a reason to go to someone's phone.
I feel like you do, because like what I was gonna say,
other than insecurity.
I guess maybe that was
because it all rounds back to, do you know who you're with?
Yeah.
Curiosity will lead to that question, and then so will just like insecurity.
I feel like in the moment when I did it, I wasn't feeling any sort of specific kind of way.
You were just like curious.
Maybe I was. I don't know.
That's what it is. It's all leading back to like, do you know who it is you're dating? Like, do you want to know more about them? Are you not getting what you want from them?
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're like looking at it.
And
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I found something that I did not like.
You see, it's just, you always find it.
Because I feel like I wish
if you work towards getting upset, spoiler alert, you're gonna get upset.
If I could turn back time,
if I could know your code,
your pin,
just my face now.
What's it called? If I could go back, I wish I would have just gone with the gut feeling that I was probably feeling at that moment, just feeling like, I don't know, not attended to or something. I don't know. I had to have a motivator besides curiosity to go through the phone.
You need attention or you'll die.
Yeah.
We're like plants like that.
We're like plants. I wish I could have just said like, I wish I could have just approached it a different way and not been like, I'm mad at you because of what I found on your phone because I was going through your phone, you know? Or I wish I think I can do it now.
Were you I just think it's funny how, girl.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, because
I was at one point.
No, because I didn't have I didn't have the emotional maturity to be like, this is what I need until afterwards. I think that relationship gave me a lot of perspective to just have open communication. I think it was I've noticed that in the relationships that I'm in, the person that I'm with sets kind of the tone of how open my communication is.
Because you're a book. You can just be pushed open.
Yeah. Like everything is there.
You can be asked.
Yeah. Everything is there. It's just like, if you're not going to open the book's going to stay on the shelf, you know?
Yeah.
I don't have anything to hide. Like, but if someone is just closed off emotionally, I don't necessarily take on those characteristics. I just like, if you don't ask, I'm not going to say anything.
What section of the bookstore would you be? Where would you be?
Self-help.
I'd be the porn that's in the sleeve.
Ooh, I don't know what I would be.
The dirty one. Not the one that's just like Latinos, black guys. I'd be like that weird niche one that's in like the reflective blue packaging. Yeah. That you have to like slap the packaging up against the cover to like, see it's the one that you want. It's that. I'm that one.
That has like has a protective cover. Oh my god.
That only places like Barnes and Noble would have to like purchase in order for you to buy it, because you would never subscribe to it yourself. That's that's where I'd be. I'd be a fucking magazine. I'm a picture book.
You're a pop-up book.
Yes, pop-up porn. I'm VR porn.
Yeah. No, you're pop-up porn.
Pop-up porn.
You're artisanal like that.
Artisanal. I'm
Someone
crafty.
had to make that with their hands.
I made in the USA.
I forgot what my point was about that. Anyways, so another chancla that I had.
Oh.
I think I might have told you this already.
What?
It's an interaction that I had yesterday at a 7-Eleven.
Oh, go for it.
I don't think I finished telling you.
You told me most
I think
of
I
it.
started. I don't know.
You told me yesterday while I was here.
Well, this fucking bitch at 7-Eleven. I was on my break. And I was already way past my allotted break time at 7-Eleven. But I was like, you know what? It's Friday. Fuck it. And so I go and I make a regrettable purchase. I get like chips and whatever. And I'm in line and the line is fucking long. It's like 5 people long. And so I'm just like, okay, well now I'm here. So I get in line. This lady I'm the 3rd person in line at this point. This lady goes up to the register and it's her turn. And she's like, I need to pump gas because the card reader's broken. And she's like, okay, what pump are you at? And she's like, 3. And she's like, okay, how much do you want? And she's like, what do you mean? And she's like, how much money do you want to put on the pump? How much gas do you want to put? And she's like, I don't know, this is a rental car, I don't know it, it's just like I just want to fill it up. She's like, well, I need to know how much to charge you to charge your card. And she's like, I just said I don't know, this is a rental vehicle, I don't know how much it takes. And she's like, well, our gas is $2.26 a gallon. And she's like, how does that help me? I don't know this car. And she's like, just fill it up. She's like, 50, just put 50. And she like throws her card on the counter to this girl. And she's like, you can take your card, ma'am. The card reader's right in front of you. Like saying like, fucking bitch, you're gonna swipe your own card. And she picks up her card and she's like, also, I think 50 is too much. She's like, if you put too much money, you're gonna have to come in with your receipt and we'll give you the difference back. And she's like, are you serious? Like, she just like is the worst kind of person. She's just like, are you serious? You're really not helping me out. And she's like, I'm trying to help you out. Like, I'm letting you know how much our gas is per gallon. Just give me a number and I'll charge you. And she's like, 30 then. 30, is that safe? Does that work for you? And she's like, okay, you can swipe your card, ma'am. Or just enter your card, ma'am. And she like types in her thing and she's like, so you're saying that I have to come back in here if
it's too much?
And she's like, yes, you have to get in line. And she just like huffs and puffs and like puts her card away and takes her receipt and like goes away. And I'm just like, I did tell you this. You're like, you've never worked in retail, huh?
Yeah, when I heard you talk about it, I was like, this is someone who's never worked like in a retail space.
I really haven't. Like, I've never worked in like the food industry or retail or anything like that. Any service industry, like face to face.
I've had some shit happen to me in places I've worked.
Was just so I've never seen that either. Just like as a person, I've never seen that. And the lady, the register lady, you could tell that she's seen some shit, because like that 7-Eleven specifically is at the intersection of like 2 main roads, a big highway that leads out of the city basically towards the airport. So a lot of people come through there. A lot of fucking people come through there from all walks of life. They might not be born here, whatever. And so she's
anywhere from tourists to people who are at the hotel from across the street to
Starbucks
people who work around.
So you can tell that she's seen some stuff just from the geographical location of that place. And from her like face, you can tell that she usually does not put up.
You are not the first bitch, you're not the last. Try it again.
But you can tell that that's not the natural reaction that she would have.
No.
Like, you could tell that she was holding back. And the next person that goes after the lady wants a money order. He goes, can I get a money order? And he starts taking out his cash. And she says, okay, that's going to be this much. And he's like, what? Because she walked away to go get the money order. And she's like, what? And she's like, it's gonna be this much. And she like raises her voice and she's like, hey, don't yell at me. I know you're going through some stuff. And I was just like, be nice to this poor girl. She just got yelled at. And she's like, I think I handled that really well, because if that happened to me 2 months ago, I would have jumped over this counter. And I was just like, girl,
that bitch would be eating her card.
Yeah. And then the other employee, because she was working 2 registers, because sometimes
that's how you help people faster.
Yeah, the other employee that was there was doing something else, and I guess they only keep like the minimum amount of employees that it needs to like run the place. And so if ever the other employee gets busy doing something else, one employee works 2 registers, so they'll ring you up while you're getting charged or whatever.
They'll ring up the next
they'll
person.
ring up the next person. They'll come back, they'll give you a receipt, and then they'll,
it's like juggling.
Yeah,
and you
they do
can't
that.
drop the ball.
Yeah. And she the other employee came back and she's like, oh, you missed it. I just some lady just threw her card at me. And he was like, what? He has like no filter. He was just like, what? And there was people in line, and I was just, she's like, yeah, she told me this, da 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 da. And she's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. She was ringing me up at this point, and I was just like, yeah, like, why wouldn't she just say like $20? $20 will get you to where you need to go out of here, and you can go and live your life and not yell at anybody. Like, $20 is safe.
It's very easy to not be an asshole when you buy gas.
Yeah, that's literally a quarter tank, like on any car.
Yep.
For the most part, unless you're driving a giant pickup truck, like, dude, just fucking $20.
Let's go.
I was like, I know it's not necessarily your place to say that to her, because she's gonna be like, you think you're better than me, you know, like
you think you know more car than me.
Yeah. Like, if she doesn't know her rental vehicle, this girl literally doesn't know your dude,
yeah,
get out of here.
Like just because she sells gas, she knows how much it's like your fucking whatever is gonna take.
And she literally gave you like a math problem. She basically just said, okay, so it's $2.26 a gallon. So if you think you know how many gallons are in your car, so even like a big SUV only has like a 13-gallon tank.
Yeah, that was too much thinking for her.
She really was. She like overheated and she just yelled. That's what happened.
It's wild. Was she blonde?
Yeah, she was blonde.
I knew it. Yeah, I hate people like that.
I'd never seen anything like that. Like, I've seen people.
How old was she?
She was
30s,
older.
40s?
She was like probably like late 30s, early 40s.
Knew it. That's the type.
Worst.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, dude, you probably have kids. And they probably.
I got screamed at when I worked at Krispy Kreme for telling someone that they were in the fire lane, and I couldn't serve them until they got out of the fire lane. And they called management, and management wrote me up because she complained about me telling her that she was in the fire lane, and then I wouldn't help her until she got out of it.
What? Wait, did Krispy Kreme have a drive-thru?
They have a drive-thru, yeah.
Oh.
And she actually, there's an inside store though too.
Yeah.
So she went to the inside store, but she parked right out front because she was like, I just want a free donut. And I was like, okay, well, if you want a free donut, you can park like a person. And
I've seen that before.
And I'm just like, get the fuck out of the fire lane. Like, why would you do that? Like, don't get, like, it's so easy to, like.
And your manager got mad at you?
He didn't get mad at me. He was like, every time we take a complaint, we have to document it. And then I have to submit it to corporate. And if it makes sense to corporate, then. And of course, her complaint didn't include me telling her that she was in the fire lane. It just included, like, he was rude to me. He was this, that, and the third.
Oh, that's dumb.
That's why I stopped working there, because I got written up twice for just, like, doing my job.
Yeah.
Like, someone called once when we had that whole, like, Krispy Kreme YouTube thing, where a girl went, like, above and beyond for someone who asked for, like, Olympic donuts, and she actually, like, made an Olympic sign out of donuts, because you can do that there if you're nice enough to someone.
Yeah.
Like, we'll help you if you're nice. And she did that, and then people, like, all over the U.S. were calling Krispy Kreme, being like, who's Jackie? Where's Jackie? Blah, blah, blah. And you can't tell someone's location like that, you know? And so when they ask about her, they'd say, like, you gotta be real vague. You gotta be vague, but, like, give an answer. And I basically said, well, this isn't where Jackie works, but, there are only 2 Krispy Kremes in Austin.
Yeah.
Do the fucking math.
Deductive reasoning.
And this lady went the fuck off on me.
What did she say?
She was just like, he was playing games with me on the phone. He laughed at me, blah, blah, blah. And I wasn't laughing at her at all. And I ended up having to, like, hang up on her because she started cussing. And she left feedback, and I got written up, and I was like, oh, I'll go anywhere else but here.
Ew.
So that's why, like, I left Krispy Kreme, because it was just bullshit.
Yeah, that sucks.
I like the job. It was an easier job.
I told Shane about that 7-Eleven story yesterday over dinner, and he was like, yeah, remember that one time, because I think he was, like, on a lunch break, like, probably, like, a year ago, and he's just like, he told me that day, he's like, I went to Vert's, it's like a kebab place, or a little, like, wrap place, yeah. He's like, I went to Vert's, and I was eating lunch there, and there was this lady who I saw eat whatever she was eating, and she goes up to the register, and she says, I didn't like it, I want my money back, there was something crunchy in it. And in Vert's, you can pick and choose what you want in your food. And the person at the register was just like, what? And she demanded her money back, and she demanded to talk to the manager. And I think the manager, I asked him yesterday, I was like, what did the manager do? He's like, I think he gave her money back. No, he gave her a certificate, like a gift certificate for Verts, and I was just like, but she finished her food.
Yeah,
Like,
people do that.
I was like, what a fucking scam. Like, what makes you think that you can do that?
Ugly Americans.
That's so ugly.
Mhm.
That's so ugly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like,
Yeah, people are like that. I called a woman a bitch at the Apple Store a few months ago.
why?
When I bought my iPhone 10, there was a woman who had like an iPod Nano that was broken. And they were like, well, we don't make this one anymore, ma'am. So we're going to have to send it in for repair if you don't want to buy a new one. We can credit you towards a new one for trading this one in, but... You know.
Only this much.
Yeah, they were like, so it's either going to be this much for, you know, a new iPod Nano, or you can, you know, get this one fixed and we can send it in. No, I use it for this, that, and the third. Oh my God, I need it for my car, blah, 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 blah. And she's like yelling at this young, like, he's a little kid working at the Apple Store. He's like 19 probably. Short little white guy. And she's like this older white woman just yelling because she's like, why can't you fix it? She was the, I was told by Apple Care. She was that woman. And
Apple Care is shit.
yeah. So I don't have that. But yeah, she like went off on him, and then he's like, okay, so at the end of it, he like stopped being nice and was like, okay, so, you know, those are the options. What are you gonna do? And she's like, well, I guess I'll fucking leave it here with you. And he's like, okay, I'll be right back. And he gets a little bag and he like puts her name on the bag and like the model number, because you have to do that when you turn it into whatever and get it sent out to get fixed.
Do they charge you to repair it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, obviously you paid for it already, but it's broken now. So I mean,
Sure.
if you want to keep up with it, you gotta. It's like a car, you know.
Yeah, like when they send it out to repair. Because I mean, I've gone to the Genius Bar and they haven't charged me.
So he did that for her, and she like cussed her way out, and she like left, and he walked up to me to make sure I was like setting up my phone right, and I was just like, what a bitch. And she heard me say it. She like turned around and looked at me, and I looked at her, and I was just like, bitch, I don't work here. Do you want to go?
Do you want to end
cruising
up
for
on...
an ass whooping. I need an ass whooping. Come on. Like, no, absolutely not. You're not gonna do that to me. I've been like that a lot lately too.
Yeah.
I've been like, I'm not gonna say like confrontational, but like, if I must.
Just like, well, you're just like, you vocalize your opinion, and if they hear you, they hear you.
I've been confrontational, but it's only so I can shame the person who is acting out.
Shame.
And make the person who's like the victim of the situation feel a little better. Like, no, you're like the way you feel right now is valid because I'm pissed for you.
Yeah.
Like the way I feel isn't valid because I'm not you. And I just want to make that known for people. Like, don't be a shithead in public. There's so many. And if you want to fight me, then let's go. Because honestly, these hands need a place like to stay. These hands need to be housed.
Do you want to see these hands?
These hands aren't crate trained, mama.
Because I will show them to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It sucks that people feel like entitled to treat a person like that. Like,
customer service is a wild world.
Like, the only time where I'm like upset as a customer, I don't ever like, one, I never raise my voice to anybody.
Me either.
But like, if I feel that I'm being like bullshitted,
lied to, led on, treated shitty,
or just like talked into a circle.
I hate that.
Because I do that. Like, as a customer, like someone who's a customer service like representative, I do that. Like, if I don't know what I'm talking about, I'll just talk so much that like my logic goes in a circle, and they just don't know what to do with it. So I know that people will do that to me, and if I catch them, like, if I'm smart enough and if I'm paying attention, if I catch them doing that, I'm just like, well, you just said this and now you're saying this. So
what is the truth?
So which one is it? I've never asked for a manager. I'm like, so which one is it? That's as upset as I've ever gotten. And I can't even recollect a memory in which I've actually done that.
I've asked for a manager before.
You asked for a manager?
Asked for a manager, and I called him leader on duty. Like, you know, JCPenney, they're called leader on duty, and I heard them say it once at Target too. And I was just like, get LOD. And he looked at me like, oh, fuck, he works here. And he called his manager, and they like fixed what I was complaining about.
What was it? What was the situation?
I was price matching like something for my mom, and when he like wouldn't give me the discount, but I was like, it's the same product. He was like, the SKU's different, and I'm like, yeah, because it's being sold on fucking Amazon. Like, what the fuck were you saying? Shipped and sold, boy, meet that price. And he was like, I can't do it. And I'm like, get LOD. And he looked at me like shook. And then at the end of it, he apologized, and I was just like, no, I was like, you don't have to apologize, just do better. Like, I hate when people apologize for shit like you just didn't know, so now you do know, do better.
Yeah,
that's it. It's tough love, sis. Sorry about it.
The quality analyst.
You know what I mean? It's just not even. I don't care.
Can you believe?
Can you believe? I don't care, like, that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I don't need an excuse. I don't need, like, you to tell me that it was your bad. Like, just do better now. Do better next time. Now you know. There's no reason for you to not do it now.
Remember my face.
Yes. Remember. I'm that person. You're going to remember this face, bitch. You're going to know. You're going to learn today, sweetheart. You are. He was, like, 17, just, like, shook. Bitch.
I don't know what's happening. My camera doesn't like filming.
These batteries
here.
are dying, mama.
On that note, I'm also dying of hunger. Did you eat? You're a person and you wake up before 10 a.m.
Not,
so you
this morning I did, but not. Like,
do you want to go to the mall and eat Thai food?
yeah, we should.
Okay, bye. That's more important.
Okay.
Thank you for watching Scrambled Podcast.
Thanks so much, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thai food. This is a lot.